Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 1 hour. Gaza ceasefire talks in Cairo stalled without progress as Hamas rejects new Israeli conditions. US says it will continue to work to avert escalation after Israel-Hezbollah missile exchange. Ukraine claims Belarus concentrating personnel, weaponry along Ukrainian border, calls on Minsk to pull back forces from border. The second round of India-Singapore Ministerial Roundtable to begin in Singapore. Various aspects of strategic partnership and issues of mutual interest will be discussed at the meeting. India's western state of Gujarat braces for the worst as heavy rainfall floods lower-lying areas in parts of the state. Heavy to very heavy rain forecast until Tuesday prompts red alert. And Janmashtami, the birthday of Lord Krishna, is being celebrated with religious fervour. President of India, Draupadi Murmu, extends greetings on the auspicious occasion. The efforts to bring peace in West Asia have failed yet again. In Cairo, ceasefire talks between Israel and Hamas ended without any agreement on Sunday, casting doubt on the chances of success in the latest US-led efforts to end the 10-month-old conflict, also backed by Egypt and Qatar. Neither the terrorist group Hamas nor Israel agreed to several compromises presented by mediators. Though talks were described as constructive, and were conducted in a spirit on all sides to reach a final and implementable agreement. The talks will still continue over the coming days through working groups to further address remaining issues and details. Key sticking points in the ongoing talks include an Israeli presence in the Philadelphia corridor, which is a narrow 14.5 kilometers long stretch of land along Gaza's southern border with Egypt. Israel wants to permanently control the Philadelphia corridor, which it seized after October 7th attack. Hamas is sticking to a July 2nd Gaza ceasefire proposal while rejecting new Israeli conditions for a ceasefire. Hamas reiterated its demand that any agreement must stipulate a permanent ceasefire and a full Israeli withdrawal from Gaza. In one of the biggest clashes in more than 10 months of border warfare, Lebanon-based Hezbollah launched hundreds of rockets and drones on Sunday morning. Israeli military responded and struck targets in Lebanon with around 100 fighter jets to thwart a bigger attack. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that strikes against Hezbollah are not the end of the story.
In major escalation in Middle East, Lebanon-based group Hezbollah launched hundreds of rockets and drones at Israel early on Sunday, while Israel launched strikes in Lebanon. Missiles were visible curling up through the dawn sky as an air raid siren sounded in Israel and a distant blast lit the horizon. Hezbollah said it had fired 320 Katyusha rockets towards Israel and hit 11 military targets, while Israel's military said it struck Lebanon with around 100 jets to thwart a bigger attack.
Most of our activity at the moment is in southern Lebanon, but we will attack anywhere in Lebanon where there is a threat to the state of Israel.
Footage released by Israel's defense ministry showed Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu watching on as Israeli jets launched strikes in Lebanon early on Sunday. Netanyahu said that military intercepted all the drones that Hezbollah launched at a strategic target in central Israel. Netanyahu also said that Israel would take all measures necessary to defend itself.
What happened today is not the end of the story. Hezbollah tried to attack the state of Israel with rockets and drones early in the morning. We instructed the IDF to carry out a powerful preemptive strike to remove the threat. The IDF destroyed thousands of short-range rockets. All of them were intended to harm our citizens and our forces in the Galilee. In addition, the IDF intercepted all the UAVs that Hezbollah launched at a strategic target in the center of the country.
Israel's army also released video, it said, showed its chief of staff, Herzi Halevi, overseeing military operations from an underground operations center in Tel Aviv on Sunday. On the other hand, in Lebanon, cabinet ministers and officials held a session of the National Emergency Committee in Beirut at caretaker Prime Minister Najib Mikati's house. Lebanon's caretaker economy minister Amin Salam said that the situation now relied on outcome of Gaza ceasefire talks in Cairo. Expectations of an escalation between the two sides had risen since a missile strike in the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights last month, and Israeli military assassinated Shukr in Beirut in response. Latest escalation between Hezbollah and Israel caused delay of flights in the region. Departing flights at Israel's Korean airport were delayed on Sunday morning, stranding worried travelers amidst ongoing rocket barrages being fired by Hezbollah. While travelers at Beirut Rafik Hariri Airport found themselves stranded on Sunday as some flights were cancelled. Air France too has cancelled its flights to Tel Aviv and Beirut until at least Monday. Israel's biggest municipality shut down its Mediterranean beaches as tourists and local residents said they were taking precautions in the wake of evolving situation in the region. Sunday's strikes came as negotiators were meeting in Cairo in a last-ditch effort to conclude a halt to the fighting in Gaza. Fuzail Ahmed reporting for DD India.
White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said that the U.S. is working to avert an escalation of conflict in the Middle East following a recent exchange of strikes between Israel and Hezbollah. He was speaking at a news conference in Halifax in Canada.
We have been concerned about the conflict escalating into an all-out regional war since October 7th, and we have worked round the clock with partners and allies, moving military assets, engaging in intensive diplomacy, both publicly and privately behind the scenes, to avert that outcome. We continue to work to avert that outcome. And our hope is that the events of last night do not spill out into an escalation that leads to regional war.
Sullivan further said that U.S. has remained in contact with its Israeli counterparts to share how the U.S. sees the situation, and said that the United States is still working in Cairo towards reaching a ceasefire deal in Gaza.
What I believe now is that it is incumbent on all parties in the region to work towards de-escalation and stability. And so we are feverishly working in Cairo as we speak with our team and the teams of the other mediators, as well as with the Israelis, to get to a ceasefire and hostage deal along the framework that President Biden laid out, to get calm between Israel and along that border between Israel and Lebanon, and ultimately to get to a broader circumstance of regional stability. And of course, we think that a part of that is a credible path to a two-state solution for the Palestinian people as well.
Let's get to updates on Ukraine-Russia conflict now. Ukraine has alleged that Belarus armed forces are concentrating a significant number of personnel and weaponry along Ukrainian northern border under the guise of exercises. Now, Ukraine's foreign ministry said that Minsk is concentrating special operation forces as well as weaponry, including tanks, artillery, multiple launched rocket systems and air defense systems near the Belarusian city of Gomel. The city lies within about 30 kilometers of the Belarus-Ukraine border. Further, Kyiv called on Minsk to immediately withdraw forces away from Ukraine's border. As per Kyiv's Independent, the Belarusian army is not currently directly involved in Russia-Ukraine conflict. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that Ukraine's forces have advanced up to 3 kilometers in Russia's Kursk region, taking control of 2 more settlements. Ukraine says Russia launched several missiles and drones overnight, targeting parts of northern and eastern Ukraine. Russia says it continues to fight against the Ukrainian incursion of its Kursk region, while at least 6 civilians got killed in Ukrainian attacks in Russia's Belgorod region. All that as Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said that he would support India hosting the second summit on peace, as Kyiv hopes to find a host among the countries in global south. Doordarshan gets us more from Moscow.
Russia says it continues to strike the Ukrainian military in its Kursk region as well as in Ukraine's border areas. The MOD reported on Sunday that it repelled the Ukrainian attacks on the direction of Komarovka, Malaya Loknya, Nechayev and Cherkasskaya Porechny in the Kursk region. It also continues the reconnaissance and search operations to identify and destroy Ukrainian groups in the area. Meanwhile, the Russian troops struck Ukraine's military and manpower in the Sumy region. The MOD says Ukraine lost 300 troops in the Kursk region over the past 24 hours, bringing the total number of the military casualties over 5,800. The head of Chechnya, Ramzan Kadyrov, said that the fighters of the Akhmat Chechnya regiment evacuated 51 conscripts from the combat zone in the village of Ulan in the Kursk region. The defense ministry also said that it sent reinforcements to the Kursk grouping of troops. Meanwhile, more than 340 people were evacuated from the 5 districts of the Kursk region to safe territories, according to the Russian Emergencies Ministry. In neighboring Belgorod region, a man died as a result of a Ukrainian drone attack and 5 others got killed in another attack on the village of Rakitne. Russia also says that it struck the temporary deployment positions of foreign mercenaries in Ukraine. Dasha Cherneshova in Moscow, reporting for DD India.
Ryan Evans, a member of the Reuters team covering the Russia-Ukraine war, was killed in a strike on a hotel in the eastern Ukrainian city of Kramatorsk. Evans was killed after a missile struck the hotel where he was staying as part of a 6-person team. 2 Reuters journalists were also injured in the strike. One of the journalists was seriously injured. The 38-year-old Evans was a former British soldier and had been working as a safety advisor with Reuters since 2022. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un oversaw a performance test of drones developed in the country. On Saturday, Kim visited the Drone Institute of North Korea's Academy of Defense Sciences and viewed a successful test of drones correctly identifying and destroying designated targets after flying along different preset routes. Kim called for the production of more suicide drones to be used in tactical infantry and special operation units such as underwater suicide attack drones as well as strategic reconnaissance and multi-purpose attack drones. Kim also called for more tests of the drone's combat application to equip North Korean military with them as early as possible. Kim also inspected the construction sites of various North Korean industrial factories on Saturday and Sunday. The Telegram messaging application said on Sunday that its founder, Pavel Durov, had nothing to hide and that it was absurd to hold an owner responsible for the abuse of the platform. Telegram issued a statement on its platform and on X, formerly known as Twitter, saying the Dubai-based company abides by European laws, including the Digital Services Act, and that Durov has nothing to hide. All right, in updates from Bangladesh, the head of interim government of Bangladesh, Professor Mohammed Yunus, said that the timing of holding a general election is a matter of political decision and people of Bangladesh will decide how long this interim government will remain in power. In a televised address to the nation on Bangladesh television, Professor Yunus said that a free, fair and participatory election will be held in the country after necessary reforms of administration, judiciary, election commission, electoral system and the law and order sector. He said that the main aim of the election was to introduce an accountable political system against corruption, looting and mass killing. Speaking on foreign affairs, he said that Bangladesh will maintain friendly relations with all the countries. Earlier on Sunday morning, Bangladesh Nationalist Party Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir asked for a clear roadmap from the interim government for conducting national elections as soon as possible after necessary reforms through consultations with political parties. You're watching DD India News Hour. We're heading for a short break, but after the break, more than 4,000 people protest against the far-right Alternative for Germany in Erfurt, Germany. Prayer meet conducted in Santa Cruz, Bolivia to pray for safety, even as authorities battle the flames consuming most parts of the forest. Thousands of people in Netherlands participate in a splendid celebration of their red hair at the annual Red Hair Days festival.
Always welcoming. The vibe of Punjab is larger than life. Warm up to grandeur that's beyond compare. And history that's dotted with tales of bravery. Smiling soul of India, where music, art, cuisine and culture comes together to create an unforgettable impression. Punjab is all set to win your hearts with its unique and colorful extravaganza.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD Indian News Hour. Let's continue getting you more international updates. The youth organization of the far-right political party Alternative for Germany staged a protest in Solingen following the arrest of a Syrian man suspected of stabbing attack. German prosecutors identified the 26-year-old Syrian man as a member of the Islamic State. The suspect turned himself in and admitted to the crime. The attack occurred during a festival on Friday evening in fact, Fraunhof, that left 3 people dead and 8 injured. The incident has sparked concern among some politicians who urged enhanced security, tighter curbs on weapons, stiffer punishment for violent crimes, and limits to immigration. Meanwhile, over 4,000 people joined a protest against the far right in Erfurt, Germany on Sunday. With state elections in the state, protesters fear a landslide victory of the far right Alternative for Germany, who is leading the polls. Members of the Mexican judiciary and the civil society marched to protest against a controversial judicial reform proposed by outgoing President Andrés Manuel López Obrador on Sunday. Protesters gathered in downtown Mexico City with flags, signs and chants accusing the president of intending to erase independence from the justice system. Opponents of the reform said the election of judges would end merit-based career paths and make the judiciary even more vulnerable to outside influence. Today is the beginning of a new era in the lives of Australian people. If they are employed somewhere, either in public or in private sector, they will enjoy the right to disconnect from their boss's work-related communication after their duty hours. It's part of Australian labour laws from Monday that the employees cannot be forced to be connected with the office and no boss can demand a response beyond their duty hours. An act legitimising this right was passed by Australian Parliament in February and it has come into force now. According to this law, the workers are not required to respond to emails or phones if they are off from office or are at vacation. The law is intended to create a work-life balance. Many European nations, including France and Germany, already have such laws. While the employees are generally happy, the employers and market analysts are skeptic about the impact of this law on work culture.
I think it's an excellent idea. I hope it catches on. I doubt it'll catch on in our industry, to tell the truth, though.
And why not?
Well, you know, we are professionals, we're well paid, we're expected to deliver, and we feel we have to deliver 24 hours a day if we have to. So the phone's always on, the computer's always on, and we're working.
Well, I think it'll take a bit of bedding down, this reform. Some people may, mistakenly believe that they can just kind of shut down and not respond to work communications now. Some employers may be a bit worried that it is a blanket ban on all communications outside work. So it'll take a bit of getting used to and working out how to put it in place in different workplaces.
At least 21 people, including 11 children, were killed by drone strikes on Sunday in the town of Tizanoten in the northern region of Mali, Tuareg rebels reported. The town, located near the Algerian border, came under drone attack again on Sunday. A spokesperson for the rebel coalition known as the Strategic Framework for Defense of the People of Azawad, in a statement said. Now, the strikes targeted a pharmacy and gathering of people, causing a provisional death toll of 21 civilians, including 11 children and the pharmacy manager. Dozens more were injured and there was severe material damage. The organization blamed Mali's army and Wagner mercenaries and said that neighboring Burkina Faso operated the drone. The fighting near Tinzouatan in late July could be Wagner's heaviest defeat since it stepped in 2 years ago to help Mali's junta fight insurgent groups. Africa will receive the first batch of Mpox vaccines this week. The continent has faced significant delays in receiving the vaccines. An Mpox outbreak surged to global attention as the World Health Organization and the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention declared it a public health emergency. Leon Senyange reports.
10,000 vaccines will be used to tackle a dangerous Clade 1B, a new variant of Mpox. The vaccines were donated by the United States. Nigeria and the Democratic Republic of Congo will be the first African countries to receive the vaccines after they granted regulatory approval. International agencies have come under fire for failure to provide the continent with the Mpox vaccines, which have already been distributed to over 70 countries outside Africa. The recent Mpox outbreak was declared a global health emergency after the new variant began to spread from the Democratic Republic of Congo into neighboring African countries. Since January, the Democratic Republic of Congo has reported over 27,000 suspected cases and 1,100 deaths, mostly among children. Leon Senyange reporting from Kampala, Uganda for DT India.
The Philippines Defense Secretary has said that China's actions in the South China Sea are patently illegal following a clash in disputed waters on Sunday after what Manila said was a resupply mission for fishermen. Manila's South China Sea Task Force accused Chinese vessels of ramming and using water cannons near Sabina Shoal against a Philippine fisheries vessel transporting food, fuel and medicine for Filipino fishermen. The Chinese Coast Guard said the Philippine vessel ignored repeated serious warnings and deliberately approached and rammed China's law enforcement boat, resulting in a collision. Up next, we'll get you weather updates. Weather conditions are swinging from heat waves leading to forest fires to excessive rainfall leading to floods and landslides. We get you more on the vagaries of weather around the globe. Getting you the details, a magnitude 6.9 earthquake occurred in the South Pacific Ocean near Tofoa Island in Tonga. The quake hit about 12:30 p.m. local time. No significant damage or impact from this quake and no particular alert was issued. The U.S. tsunami warning system says no tsunami was expected. The quake was initially reported as a magnitude 6.6, but later was upgraded. Volunteer firefighters in the region of Santa Cruz, Bolivia gathered to pray for their safety before battling the flames consuming most parts of the forest. People in central Bolivia have been battling a fire ravaging the Chiquetano forest to save their wildlife themselves. The Bolivian government has opened the control center against fires in Santa Cruz to coordinate authorities to prevent and combat wildfires and bring daily reports. In Indonesia's North Maluku, at least 13 people have been killed and 6 were missing after floods hit the province, damaging homes and burying people in mud. Search and rescue workers dug out several bodies from the mud. Country's disaster management agency said the floods were caused by heavy rain since Saturday and warned residents to remain vigilant, citing forecasts of more heavy rain to come in the next few days. In eastern Bangladesh, at least 20 people have died in the floods and more than 3 million people were stranded. 15 villages and hundreds of families were inundated after high tides caused Gomti River embankments to collapse. Blocked roads in several districts isolated people and hampered rescue and relief efforts. More than 75,000 people were taken to shelters in the flood-hit districts, with military and border guards helping in the rescue. And back home, the weather department has predicted heavy to very heavy rains in several areas of the state of Gujarat until Tuesday. Amid heavy rainfall over past 2 days, parts of Gujarat have been inundated, displacing hundreds of affected residents to safer locations. Navsari district faced severe flooding, prompting the Indian Weather Department to issue a red alert for the district. The water level of Purna and Kaveri rivers is above the danger level. As a precautionary measure, more than 100 people have been shifted to safer location. Parth Pandey is joining us from Ahmedabad. Parth, good morning. We've told our viewers how a red alert has been sounded in parts of Gujarat, and Gujarat has been witnessing heavy rainfall. I can see, blocked road behind you. Get us more. How has the day begun? How has the morning begun today?
Yeah, good morning. As you mentioned very clearly that it was a heavy downpour since last 24 to 30 hours in all over the Gujarat region. The reason behind it is the two system is activated over the Gujarat. That is, one is the cyclonic circulation over the northwest part of the Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, which is attracting the winds from the Arabian Sea, and another one is the offshore trough activated from the coast of Gujarat in the coast of the Kerala. IMD issued a red alert-like situation on the 20th August only, that it will be a critical time for the Gujarat from 22nd August till the 30th August. The same situation is going on right now. As you can see behind me, more than 65% of the roads in Ahmedabad has been urban flooded yesterday night only. If we talk about southern Gujarat region specifically, Navsari, Valsad is facing very dangerous situation. Flood-like situation is there. NDRF and SDRF team has been deployed in the area since last 48 hours. If I talk about yesterday, more than 600 people were displaced and sent to somewhere else. Their homes were flooded. So yes, it is a critical situation for the Gujarat, and upcoming 3 to 4 days is very much critical. If I talk about the red alert-like situation today, the southern Gujarat regions like Valsad, Vapi, Daman, Surat, etc., and the Saurashtra, Amreli and Bhavnagar is on red alert situation. Another important thing is Gujarat has received more than 80% of the average rain. And if I talk about specifically about Kutch and Saurashtra region, they have received more than 90%, which is significant. So yes, situation is tough. NDRF and SDRF team has been deployed yesterday. Chief Minister also took a meeting of the officials regarding the Civil Work Department, the NDRF, SDRF teams, etc. And the review of the situation was held yesterday only. And upcoming 2 days is a bit critical for the Gujarat, and we'll see what happens. But yes, last but not the least, it was a heavy day.
All right, Parth, thank you for joining in with those details. So that was our correspondent Parth telling us more about the current situation in Gujarat. And now we take a look at other stories making it to the headlines from across the world. In the Netherlands, thousands of people gathered to celebrate their red hair at the annual Red Hair Days festival in the southern town of Tilburg. More than 10,000 people from over half a dozen countries attended the 3-day festival, signing up for photo shoots and a variety of workshops. The event in 2013 set a Guinness World Record for the largest gathering of people with natural red hair. Residents of Porticello paid tributes to British tech magnate Mike Lynch and 6 other people who were killed when a luxury yacht sank in stormy weather off Sicily this week. 15 people survived, including owner Lynch's wife, whose company owned the Bezian, and the yacht's captain. Mike Lynch was one of the UK's best-known tech entrepreneurs and had invited friends to join him on the yacht to celebrate his acquittal in June in a US fraud trial. Pétrole de France, the French Air Force aerobatic display team, flew over the capital, Paris, to mark the 80th anniversary of the liberation of Paris. Their precision maneuvers left a trail of tricolour smoke across the sky, creating a patriotic and visually stunning display. With this, the 5-day-long celebrations came to a close. We're heading for a short break. You're watching DD India News Hour. But after the break, Brazil's foreign minister to co-chair 9th India-Brazil Joint Commission meet in India. It will further strengthen the strategic partnership between the two countries. Ahead of upcoming assembly elections in Jammu and Kashmir, Prime Minister attended BJP Central Election Committee meeting in New Delhi. World-renowned sand sculptor Sudarshan Patnaik created a beautiful sand art with a message of kill the evil on Janmashtami. Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News. A quick relook at the top stories now. Gaza ceasefire talks in Cairo stall without progress as Hamas rejects new Israeli conditions. US says it will continue to work to avert escalation after Israel-Hezbollah missile exchange. Ukraine claims Belarus concentrating personnel, weaponry along Ukrainian border, calls on Minsk to pull back forces from border. The second round of India-Singapore Ministerial Roundtable to begin in Singapore. Various aspects of strategic partnership and issues of mutual interest will be discussed at the meeting. India's western state of Gujarat braces for the worst as heavy rainfall floods low-lying areas in parts of the state. Heavy to very heavy rain forecast until Tuesday prompts red alert. And Janmashtami, birthday of Lord Krishna, is being celebrated with religious fervour. President of India Draupadi Murmu extends greetings on the auspicious occasion. The second round of India-Singapore Ministerial Roundtable will take place in Singapore today. The Indian ministers participating in the event will include Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal and Railways Minister Ashwini Vaishnav. The ministers will interact with their counterparts and will also call on Singaporean leadership. The India-Singapore Ministerial Roundtable is a unique mechanism established to set a new agenda for India-Singapore bilateral relations. The meeting aims to enable both sides to review various aspects of their strategic partnership and identify new avenues to further elevate and broaden it. India's Minister for Commerce and Industry Piyush Goyal met with the CEO of Infrastructure at the Global Asset Manager Cindy Lim and Executive Vice President and Head of Asia Pacific of Pension Fund Omair's Ashish Goyal in Singapore. On social media platform X, Piyush Goyal stated that India is an attractive investment destination and invited them to be part of India's development journey. The Indian Navy's warship INS Mumbai arrived in Colombo for a 3-day visit on Monday. The Sri Lanka Navy ceremonially received the ship. During its stay, INS Mumbai will deliver essential spare parts for the Dornier maritime patrol aircraft operated by Sri Lanka Air Force. Along with this, INS Mumbai will also conduct joint activities with the Sri Lankan Navy, including sports events and also yoga sessions. INS Mumbai is the third of the Delhi-class destroyers and was commissioned in January 2001. All right, to get us more on that, we will be joined in by a correspondent. But before that, in Sri Lanka, as presidential elections approach, details regarding postal ballot have been shared by the Election Commission. The Commission announced that the postal vote ballot papers will be delivered to the post offices on Monday. Chairman of the Election Commission stated that the printing of the postal ballot papers is nearing completion. The postal voting for presidential election is scheduled for September 4th, 5th and 6th. The Election Commission also noted that the government employees who are unable to cast their votes by post on those dates will be able to vote at district secretariat offices on September 11th and 12th. This year, over 7 lakh government employees are eligible for postal voting. Our correspondent, Dr. Ahmed Moeen Farooqi, is joining us. Ahmed, good morning. Now, when we talk of INS Mumbai first, this is INS Mumbai's first visit to Sri Lanka, and also it is the 8th port call by the Indian ships in the island nation. We've just given a broad outline of the activities which will be conducted. To spell out more details, what more can you add?
Preeti, you see, this is a very important visit for the Indian naval ship Mumbai. We have had several Indian naval ships which have come to Colombo. In fact, last month itself, we had a couple of Indian naval ships which had come. Now, apart from the regular activities, they are going to deliver certain important spare parts pertaining to the Dornier aircraft. We must recall that Dornier aircraft was also gifted by India. It was provided to Sri Lanka about 2 years ago, and it was replaced last year. And it adds to the security component of the Indian Ocean region entirely, which India and Sri Lanka together have come together for safeguarding and in line with India's Sagar outlook as well. So this ship has come here and will try to further increase the interactions that both the navies on both sides have had. And this is going to further increase in the coming times. Preeti.
All right, Ahmed, also get us more on the presidential elections approaching. We tell our viewers that the postal ballot, the details of that have been shared by the Election Commission. Spell out more details for our viewers to help us understand more about the preparations that are being conducted in the nation there.
This election, you see, it's a very pivotal election. It's happening at a very crucial time, at a time when Sri Lanka has just faced its worst ever economic crisis. In fact, if we say that it has faced its economic crisis, we have to also remember that it's not yet out of the woods yet. Keeping that in mind, there are 38 candidates now in fray with demise of one of the candidates. Given the circumstances, the incumbent president, Ranil Wickremesinghe, he has been talking constantly about the hardship that Sri Lanka faced. And the opposition leader, the main opposition leader, Sajid Premdasa, as well as the other candidates, including Anura Kumar Addisanayaka, they have been constantly reminding people about the hardship that they had to face because of the misgovernance of the previous governments, as well as the corruption. Now, keeping all this in mind, people have a very important decision to make on 21st of next month. And in this line, the postal ballots that will be shared today, that is also something which people have to remember, because the government officials, the military officials, they will have to cast them on 4th, 5th, and 6th of September. And this is a very crucial decision that they have to make even before the rest of the people have the decision to make on 21st. So, this, as I said, the elections have a lot of bearing with regard to the future of the island. We also remember that the moratorium has been placed till 2029, till which time the debt will not be paid. And thereafter, for a 15-year period, the debt has to be paid. A huge debt that is more than $36 billion is still, that is something which remains. And that is to be paid by the government that comes in. So that will be a very crucial decision that is to be made by the people. Preeti.
All right, Ahmed, we leave it here. Thank you so much for joining in with those details. And Foreign Affairs Minister of Brazil, Mauro Vieira, arrived in New Delhi on Sunday for a 4-day visit to India. India's External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, and his Brazilian counterpart will co-chair the 9th India-Brazil Joint Commission meeting. The meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, and it aims to further strengthen the strategic partnership between the two nations. The ministers will also discuss how the two countries, as Troika, can advance key G20 outcomes from the Indian presidency last year. Brazilian foreign minister's visit will provide an opportunity to further strengthen the strategic partnership established in 2006 and explore new avenues of cooperation in bilateral, regional and multilateral arenas across diverse sectors. Prime Minister Narendra Modi attended the meeting of the BJP Central Election Committee at party headquarters in New Delhi. Now, the meeting was held ahead of the upcoming assembly elections in Jammu and Kashmir. Besides Prime Minister, other BJP leaders who attended the meet included BJP President JP Nadda, Union Ministers Amit Shah and Jitendra Singh, and other senior leaders of the party. And now we take a look at other stories making it to the headlines from across India. India's Home Minister Amit Shah planted a sapling under Ek Ped Maa Ke Naam campaign during his ongoing visit to the central Indian state of Chhattisgarh. The campaign was launched on the occasion of World Environment Day by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Indian government approved the Bio-E3 policy, biotechnology for economy, environment and employment. It is aimed at fostering high-performance biomanufacturing. Now, the policy is designed to supplement traditional supply methods with biotechnological solutions. The Indian government is gearing up to host the inaugural World Audiovisual and Entertainment Summit, that is WAVES, from 20th November to 25th of November this year. The summit aims to bolster India's media and entertainment industry and extend its global influence. Second round of MRF Dirt Bike Championship was held in the western Indian state of Gujarat's Vadodara on Sunday. Best riders in the country showcased their skills during the event.
Number 24 and 27.
Janmashtami, the birthday celebration of Lord Krishna, is being observed and celebrated with religious fervour and gaiety across the world. Temples across the country are decked up as devotees are flocking to well-decorated temples to celebrate the festival of joy. It is believed that Lord Krishna, the 8th incarnation of Lord Vishnu, was born on the 8th day of the dark fortnight in the month of Bhadrapada as per the Hindu calendar. The day holds deep spiritual significance for the devotees world over. The festival is not just a time for celebration but also for reflection and remembering Lord Krishna's timeless teachings. Devotees celebrated by chanting Krishna's name, singing devotional songs and reading his teachings in the holy Bhagavad Gita. Janmashtami is a reminder of Lord Krishna's teachings, emphasizing the importance of righteousness, duty, love and devotion in one's life and the victory of good over evil. President of India, Draupadi Murmu, has extended greetings and best wishes to all citizens living in the country and abroad on the auspicious occasion of Janmashtami. The President in a message said, and I quote, "The festival of joy inspires us to dedicate ourselves to the divine ideals of Bhagwan Shri Krishna. On this occasion, let us imbibe the teachings of Bhagwan Shri Krishna and resolve to work for progress and prosperity of the country," and I unquote. The Chief Minister of North Indian state of Uttar Pradesh, Yogi Adityanath, laid the foundation stone for various projects of development in Mathura ahead of Janmashtami festival. This festival is celebrated in a grand way in Mathura and Vrindavan, where Lord Krishna spent his youth and childhood. Dr. Suyash Sharma is joining us from Mathura. Suyash, very quickly, get us more on the celebrations there. I see the temple behind you all decked up and people are already thronging the temple early in the morning. Get us more on how is the day, how is Janmashtami there celebrated? What do people do on this special day?
Today is the Krishna Janmashtami and you can see behind me we are at the Krishna Janmabhoomi in Mathura. The atmosphere here is vibrant, filled with the devotion and joy in every direction. You can see the entire temple complex is beautifully decorated with light, flowers, colors, banners, reflecting the festive spirit of the occasion. You can see the children are enjoying here like anything to do the clap and chanting the Radhe Krishna, Radhe Krishna. Devotees from all over I can say that all over the country have gathered here to celebrate the birth of Lord Krishna. I'm just saying, you can see the air is filled with the sound of bhajan, chant and the ringing of bells, creating a deeply spiritual environment. And people are seen offering, you can see the queue. They don't have any kind of feeling the problem that we are in the queue. They are enjoying the queue. And now today in the festival inside.
Yes, please continue. Dr. Suyash Sharma is there with us from Mathura, and she's showing us visuals of the temple there, which is being thronged by people in the morning, and she's showing us how it is being decked up and how people celebrate there. Suyash, also, let us know, because in the visuals I see a lot of young people are also there. In fact, people from all walks of life, all age groups are present at the temple. But then what do you make of the young people, the youth who have come there? How do they relate to the teachings of Lord Krishna in today's times? Suyash, if I'm audible to you, get us more on how is the day celebrated there in Mathura, and also how do young people, the youth, how do they relate to the teachings of Lord Krishna in today's times? All right, I think we've lost connection there with Suyash, who was there joining us from Mathura, telling us more about the celebrations and how the temples have been decked up there. In the visuals also, we show you how beautifully the town, the city has been decked up on the birthday of Lord Krishna. And this is a very auspicious day that is celebrated with full fervor and gaiety. We also had wishes coming in from the President, who wished the countrymen on the occasion of Janmashtami, and we also had our correspondent Dr. Suyash Sharma who joined us from Mathura, and she talked about the devotion of the people who gathered at the temples to pay tributes and obeisance, and also pray at the temple. So that was about the celebration of Janmashtami across the country. And world-renowned sand sculptor Sudarshan Patnaik has created a beautiful sand art with a message of kill the evil on the auspicious occasion of Krishna Janmashtami. We're heading for a short break. You're watching DD India News. Stay with us. We'll tell you all about the Asian markets as its shares edge up before inflation tests. Oil gains too. In sport, Sweden's Monder Duplantis breaks the pole vault world record for the 10th time. 2024 Paralympic Games torch reaches France via Channel Tunnel.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News. Let's tell you all about the markets now. Asian markets crept cautiously higher on Monday, while oil prices climbed 0.7% after Israel and Hezbollah traded rocket salvos and airstrikes on Sunday, stirring worries about possible supply disruptions if the conflict escalated. MSCI's broadest index of Asia-Pacific shares outside Japan added 0.4% after rising 1.1% last week, while South Korea rose 0.3%. Japan's Nikkei eased 0.7% as a stronger yen pressured exporter stocks. Brent rose 51 cents to $79.53 a barrel, while U.S. crude added 50 cents to $75.33 per barrel. And now we get to updates from the world of sports. Sweden's Monder Duplantis once again broke his own pole vault world record as he cleared 6.26 meters at the second attempt in the Silesia Diamond League meeting on Sunday. Duplantis broke the world record for the 10th time, beating the 6.25 meters he cleared when retaining his Olympic gold medal in Paris earlier this month. Also, this was the third time this year he had broken his own record. Meanwhile, the crowd had already witnessed Norwegian Jakob Ingebrigtsen shatter the long-standing 3,000 meters world record with a time of 7 minutes, 17.55 seconds to beat the record set by Kenya's Daniel Komen in 1996. The 23-year-old was in shock when he crossed the line and looked at his time. The 2024 Paralympic Games torch reached France via the Channel Tunnel on Sunday. The torch relay began earlier on Saturday in Stoke Mandeville in England, where the event was first imagined by neurologist Ludwig Guttmann in 1948. On Sunday, British athletes carried the torch midway through the Channel Tunnel before handing over to French competitors who crossed over to Cairo in the host city. The flame will make its way to Paris, where it will be used to light the Paralympic cauldron during the opening ceremony on Wednesday. Meanwhile, Swayam India, which is the official accessibility partner of the Paralympic Committee of India for the Paris Paralympics 2024, is ensuring barrier-free stay for athletes and making their transportation accessible. The partnership includes comprehensive access audits of hotels and buildings, ensuring the para-athletes' comfortable stay with zero inconvenience. Speaking about the support from Swayam, para-table tennis player Bhavina Patel said that Swayam has helped athletes with accessibility by providing them with special vehicles.
जैसे कि मैं बताऊं कि स्वयं का बहुत बार ऐसा ही होता है कि वो मतलब मैक्सिमम सपोर्ट देते हैं स्वयं इस तरह से काम करता है जो पैरा एथलीट है और ख़ास करके जो व्हीलचेयर यूज़र्स जो है उनको जो व्हीकल जो प्रोवाइड किए जाते हैं वो एक्सेसिबल होते हैं, उसमें रैंप वगैरह लगा हुआ रहता है, जिसके वजह से पैरा एथलीट को इजीली मूव करने में, जो व्हीलचेयर यूज़र्स रहते हैं उनको मूव होने में बहुत मतलब दिक्कत नहीं होती है। तो और उनका जो सपोर्टिंग स्टाफ भी है वो भी बहुत अच्छा है, वो हेल्पफुल है, तो ये स्वयं की सर्विस भी बहुत अच्छी है।
स्वयं टीम ने भी मेरी बहुत सहायता करी है, क्योंकि हम जहाँ भी नेशनल खेलने जाते हैं और कहीं भी हमें ट्रैवल करना होता है वो हमें एक्सेसिबल वैन्स वगैरह, बस कार बसेस वगैरह सब वो प्रोवाइड कराते हैं। तो मेरी स्वयं ने बहुत हेल्प करी है और आज भी मैं अपने घर से यहाँ एयरपोर्ट पे स्वयं की कार से ही आई हूँ, तो मुझे बहुत सपोर्ट करते हैं।
Indian para-badminton player Mansi Joshi is upbeat about her chances for the Paralympics. Set to appear in her maiden Paralympics, she is confident and thanked the Indian government's support in uplifting para-sports in the country in an exclusive interview with DD India's Abhishek Prasad.
So call her an engineer or an advocate for the rights for people with disabilities or a world champion. We have with us Indian para-badminton player Mansi Joshi with us. Mansi, this time a large contingent of Indian para-athletes going to the Paralympics. So how do you see this?
I feel honored. I feel like everybody is going together this time, so it's like almost a half of a flight together. It will be great. I think it will be fun.
How's your preparations in particular for this?
My preparations have been at the top. I've been working very hard for this game since last 1.5 years. Asian Games, World Championship all together. So satisfied with my preparation.
You have been an advocate for the rights of people with disabilities. So how important is to support this cause?
I think para-sports or Paralympics as an event, a multi-sport event, opens up a lot of opportunities and doors for people with disabilities. And this is, because this is a multi-sport event, many people will, and all eyes are on para-sports right now. So I think it creates a lot of awareness, a change in mindset of people. And especially in a country like India, where we see women, for parents of girl child who have been very protective of especially people with disabilities, I feel it's an opportunity for everyone to go out and play a sport, be fit, and I think being a person with disability, being physically fit is our first priority.
Last question, how do you see the support of government and SWAYAM India, that is the accessibility partner?
I think SWAYAM India is doing a great job. In terms of government support, it has been incredible. I would like to thank Sports Authority of India, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Paralympic Committee of India, and actually everyone for the support.
From losing a leg in a fatal accident to becoming an inspiration for all para-athletes, Mansi Joshi's journey is nothing less than a roller coaster ride. At Paris, her eyes will be set on a gold medal. With cameraman Uttam, Abhishek Prasad for DD India.
A bunch of over 20 Indian para-athletes departed for the Paris Paralympics from Delhi airport on Sunday. Various reputed para-athletes such as table tennis stars Bhavina Patel and Sonal Ben Patel, para-badminton players like Manoj Sarkar, Manisha Ramdas and gold medalist Krishna Nagar, and para-athletes Sachin Sarjay Rao Khilari and Sakshi Kasana, among others, were at the airport to catch their flight to Paris.
Preparations are going really well, and I have did lot of training and everything. I gave it all in my training this last 2 months, and also this will be my first Paralympics, and I'm very excited and very happy, and I just want to give my best, and I just want to execute my game on every match. I'm top athlete, so I'm in a top scheme, and it supports us really well, and it's funding for all our training, every tournaments we travel, and for everything, whatever we require for sports, everything they are providing, and it's really helpful.
अपने देश की तरफ से प्रतिनिधित्व करना एक बहुत बड़ा गौरव की बात होती है, तो बहुत ही अच्छा लग रहा है। यस, टोक्यो पैरालंपिक्स गेम्स में मैंने सिल्वर मेडल जीता था। इस बार भी मैं अपना बेस्ट देना चाहूँगी। गवर्नमेंट का जो सपोर्ट है उसकी वजह से ये सब चीज़ें पॉसिबल हो रही है, क्योंकि जहाँ पे पहले जो सिस्टम था कि जितना सपोर्ट सिस्टम जो था वो इतना स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं था। आज पैरालंपिक कमेटी देख लो, आज ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस देख लो, जैसे कि OGQ, गो स्पोर्ट्स, ऐसे बहुत सारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस भी है। और सबसे बड़ा महत्वपूर्ण वाला जो रोल है वो स्पोर्ट्स अथॉरिटी ऑफ इंडिया का है, और हमारे प्राइम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र भाई मोदी जी है, उनका है, क्योंकि उनकी ही एक सोच है कि जब खेलेगा इंडिया तभी बढ़ेगा इंडिया। तो वो जो सोच है वो सबके ही दिल और दिमाग में वो एक छाप दिखा के रखता है कि यस, एथलीट को भी एक मोटिवेशन मिलता है कि हाँ, हमें कुछ करके दिखाना है, अपने देश के लिए कुछ करना है, हमारा तिरंगा ऊपर लहराना है। तो वो एक पॉजिटिव जो सोच है वो सबके ही दिमाग में रहती है और वो ऑटोमेटिकली वो कॉन्फिडेंस फील होता है।
मैंने इस पेरिस पैरालंपिक्स के लिए बहुत मेहनत करी है। मैंने 4 साल से मैं इसके लिए मेहनत करी हूँ। लास्ट टाइम मैं 2021 में ट्रायल नहीं दे पाई थी क्योंकि मेरी परफॉर्मेंस इतनी अच्छी नहीं थी। तो उसके बाद मैंने पूरा डिसिप्लिन में रह के पूरा अपना डाइट प्लस ट्रेनिंग पूरा प्रॉपर अच्छे से करके अब मेरी परफॉर्मेंस अच्छी आई है और मेरा इधर पैरालंपिक्स 2024 में सिलेक्शन हुआ है। तो मुझे बस यही होप है कि मैं मेडल ले पाऊँ यहाँ पे, और मतलब मेडल लेना ही है मेरे को और अपना पूरा बेस्ट देना है।
बहुत बड़ा बदलाव है। आज मैं देख रहा हूँ इतनी मीडिया एयरपोर्ट पे है। जब मैं 2004 में जीत के आया था तो इसी इंदिरा गांधी एयरपोर्ट से मैं निकला था, तब मुझे कोई नहीं मिला था। मैं खुद के पैसे से गया था। एक किसान का बेटा उस टाइम खुद के पैसे से जाता था, वो एक अंदर दर्द था मेरे। उस दर्द को पूरा देश के प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने किया है, जिन्होंने पहचान दी हम पैरा खिलाड़ियों को। मैं इससे प्रेस के माध्यम से उनका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद भी देता हूँ।
All right, that's it in this edition of DD India News Hour. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. This app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can scan the respective QR codes on the screens now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India News Hour.